dog had to go out. So, this is the axe. Oh, yes, sorry, I was at the hunting pass. So, the hunting pass is your typical, you get enough experience, you do enough stuff, and you get rewards. Now, you have the elite hunting pass, which allows you to get for free, or not for free, but which allows you to get better items or better skins. Nothing's necessary, though. Skins look decent by the looks of them, but I do not have the hunting pass, and I'm fine. You don't need to get anything. Now, the game is currently being run by, I guess, Epic, but that's just because I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's being run by Epic. I just know it is. You just went out. What could it be now? Who knows? Dog's being silly. Anyways. So next, we shall show you probably whatever's next on the weapon list. Hey, Bruce, come here. Bruce, come here. Buddy. Jeez. Dog is being silly. Won't even settle down for a bit. Alright, go now. Private hunt it should be at least. And then hammer. The thing that I have been, that this is built for, if you couldn't tell. There's another overpowered, that's great. So, this build is entire, damn it, I forgot to deprive it. It's fine. Anyways, this build is a mostly stagger as much as possible build. So, hammer is your blunt type weapon. It's effective at breaking parts and staggering things. Now, I enjoy the hammer in this game as much as I enjoy the hammer in World. It's so much fun just to bam, bam, bam. Get down. Get down, Mr. Monster. It's time to die. Yeah. It's an enjoyable experience, to say the least. Hey, doggy. I'd say I main axe and hammer in Dauntless, that's for sure. My big main in World is a greatsword, and it's a combination bowgun, greatsword, heavy bowgun obviously, greatsword and hammer. I'm trying. I like to do dual blades occasionally. I feel like chain blades are kind of the dual blades. Now, I still hold the feeling that Dauntless is very similar to Monster Hunter. I don't think it's close to World. I think it's more close to, say, Frontier, which is a very... Now, I say that because Dauntless and Frontier have the similar essence of, oh, these aren't necessarily monsters, but they're bosses. Whereas in mainstream Monster Hunter games, you have more of the... There are a couple creatures within Dauntless and Frontier which could definitely be real world creatures. Very few, but there's a couple. I think World and the other mainstream Monster Hunter games, though, have creatures which are very believable as in they could actually be living creatures, like the Toby, like one of my favorite examples of Zinogre. It has a relationship with these things called Thunderbug. I'm getting off track. The point is, this is fun if you enjoy your typical boss fight. Now, hammer's fairly straightforward, as you'd think. You hit it in the face a bunch of times, and let it die. I have things that can increase my stagger damage, but I'm not going to use those right now, as this is a very low tier monster and I don't want its parts. Or I don't need its parts, rather. There we go. Duh, 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 and slam. Now I also have my ammo, I guess you could call it. My ammo type for my hammer is also gives me a buff whenever I do the slam, or I just do my right click without when I'm not in the middle of a swing animation. That charge animation that you see where it glows red for a second, or white in that case when it's not a supercharged file, is essentially me charging up the blow, doing more damage. Yeah, and there's no disbenefits to the best of my knowledge, except that you have to reload it. Yeah, the lantern strike. And then, oh, okie dokie. Oh, and it's dead. Yeah, so hammer, very straightforward. Most of these weapons are very straightforward, except for the guns. The guns are very, very, very non-straightforward. And now it's a chain blade time, I guess. You've seen the chain blades before, but there's no point in not doing it again. Chain blades have limited range on them, but they don't have the fall off that the guns do. They have a slightly ranged attack, but it uses stamina. You can also get up close and personal. Oh, excuse me. I do believe that it should not be necessary for you to have a stamina using attack in order to get any of your range. I think personally you should just have a slightly less amount of range, but still some range with your default attack, and then you can extend that range with your right click attack. But it's not that big of a deal, so. Now with the Q ability I currently have, now Q is not ultimate, it's just a, I guess, special. I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but mine allows me to drag myself and push myself away from the monster, like this. And like that. that, cut off its tail. Fortunately, my dodge is kind of a teleport rather than the typical roll. And there is my ranged attack. I gotta do a regular attacks while recharging stamina. No, it's on fire. And the elements have certain effects, like fire weapons do the occasional fire. Ice weapons do the occasional slow the monster down, or slow you down if it's a cold monster. More often than not, though, you'll have them freeze you. Damn it, dog. But, shock can do the occasional stun, I guess, which does a temporary stagger rather than the full stagger that you get with, say, a hammer or something like that. But yeah. And then I honestly don't have any idea what Terra does. It hasn't had a physical effect yet, that I've seen at least. I just know it's more the Terra weapons are more effective against shock type monsters. Or behemoths, sorry. In this game they're called behemoths. There are two versions of the enraged state that you have in Monster Hunter, one called Aether Charged and the other called actually just Enraged. Enraged, at least I think that's what it's called. But they do similar things. They give, except instead of just giving additional strength and speed temporarily, it also allows them to use one or two variations of a move they have. Gotta settle my dog down real quick, sorry. But yeah, they get variations of the moves. Now, after I pet him a little bit, going to load out Pike. And yes, it's the recruit Pike. I don't use the Pike because I just don't like it personally. But this is just for the example. Actually, let me check the move list on this. So there's this 4 left clicks and a hold left clicked, and then right click for severing parts. Go now. Itch. So this one will last quite a bit longer, just because I have such a weak Pike, but you know, it'll happen. And I forgot to do private again. I mean, it's good that I'm not doing private because I don't want to do private on such a low power weapon, but I'm sure that guy wearing full Embermane's just here with uh, either Josh or picking Queen, or both maybe. Because typically, unless you're just doing a time waster, you don't hunt lesser Nashers. Now, there's a charge. The pike seems to be a fairly simple weapon. I just don't like it because it's such a light weapon, though. I mean, I've always been a more a fan of the heavier damage in exchange for high for slower movement, but that's just because I like the high risk, high reward, and also the having to time everything. Now I'm bad at timing everything, but now it also has a essentially a small projectile it can fire, but let me try and charge up multiple, see if you can do multiple. Because if I can get multiple rockets, I don't know if it'll give me the chance for oh yeah, let me do this. Yeah, so you don't get multi-fire rockets, but you do get to charge them for as long as you want. The smaller the reticle is, I believe at least, the higher damage you get. I think. I don't know. I don't use the pike that often, so that's what it looks like, but let's back off. Charge! Two, three, four. Aw, dang, I missed. Oh well. Hello, what is up the internet? It is me, your friendly neighborhood weeb here, and today we're playing Dauntless again. Because Dauntless is no longer the buggiest piece of shit in the existence of the world. Yeah. So, it's actually had quite a few updates, quite a few new monsters, so as I haven't played this in a long time, well, no, I've recently begun catching up, but I haven't recorded it in a long time. Let's do a basic hunt to just show you what it's like again. You know what? I'll go through each of the weapon types actually, because lesser creatures are easy to hunt. So, right now I'm doing the Austean repeaters, which are essentially dual pistols, kind of. They're really, really fancy guns, let's just say that. I can throw out a mine, I can just put a sniper reticle essentially on the creature. And I can dodge and produce mines because of this thing called a prism. Anyways, that's not particularly important. I speak well, totally. Anyways. Yeah. But for now, let's start with the guns, because they seem to be the most appealing to some people. Like one of my Discord people, but we shall see. The guns, as you can imagine, do gun type things. They're more effective the closer you are. Yeah. Certain creatures, though, you're not going to be close to for very long, like the Embermaid, because they always move. Embermaid, Stormclaw, probably their dire or heroic variants. Though I haven't seen a dire variant for the Embermaid yet. And I haven't even gotten to the heroic variant. I just know heroic's a thing because of what was it called? An item you can only get from heroic patrols. So I forgot to put it onto private, but it's fine. That pose, the "oh, I'm ready to kick some ass" pose. Oh, and it's right there, cool. Let it get close, reload near it. And yeah, that's kind of how they work. Oh, if I can get the charge shot. There we go. Reload again. Q, there's my mine. I can either throw it directly on and do loads of damage, or I can let it charge up and it'll do even more damage. Come on, charge me, you stupid bastard. Just trying to get it to look at me real quick. Come on. That's not charging me. Oh, damn it. Alright, you. Now charge me. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, that's the tip it gave me before. You wanna hit it with heavy damage while it's charging you. Oh, nope, that does not count. And that marksman circle that increases damage for anyone who hits it. It works better for guns, but the sword man can get it too. Mark your face. Shoot your leg. Oh, that's right. Oh, and it's dead. There we go. So yeah, those are the repeaters. Next, we'll do the, I guess, pike. Because I don't really use the pike. There is some bugs still within the game, but I don't really care that bad. So, because what bugs there are really simple, or there's one that really needs to be fixed really bad, but that's not that bad. It's occasionally, if you go into your loadout too many times while finding a match, it won't actually find a match. And I hope I pressed private, but I probably not. Anyways, yeah, this is the sword. Works like a sword. It's not a great sword like Monster Hunter. The axe is more your great sword. The sword in Dauntless is more like your... It's like long sword, kind of, except if you took away Helm Splitter and stuff like that, and replaced it with the ability to essentially turn into Excalibur 4 from Warframe, where you get the laser pew pew pew, except for not quite as long. And yes, this looks like a club, but that's just, I don't know. That's just the way it is. I don't question the design the developers gave it. I just use the thing. Down here. Where are you? I saw you. Small peak over the hill. And I'm using mouse keyboard, obviously. But, so, there's a lot of things that you can play this cross-platform. It's available on PlayStation and Xbox. You hold Z, you get that little menu that I just showed you. But yes, it is available for cross-platform play between those systems. There we go. And now, I don't know the proficiencies for each of the other weapons. I know that the weapon I'll show you later, the hammer, is much proficient at doing the stagger damage, which makes you able to knock over monsters, essentially. The pike is proficient at doing wound damage. Oh yes, the little numbers that keep showing up. There's 4 different meanings. Gray is true damage. Yellow, which is going to be up more often, is part damage. Red is wound damage, and I believe the wound effect gives you like the monster slows, or its attacks become less potent temporarily. I'm not sure. Blue is stagger damage, which allows you to knock the monster on its ass. It's kind of like stun from Monster Hunter, or breaking the leg of a monster in Monster Hunter, which you can also just break the leg in this game, but and I think that's it. Yeah, that is it. I covered it all. Yeah, the sword seems to just be a kind of mix of them all. Oh yeah, your lanterns, which is the little UI in the top left corner, give you 2 bonuses, essentially. I think the recruit lantern doesn't give you, no it does, sorry. But, they have 2 effects. The one I have currently is the Drask lantern. Drask is a creature that I don't know if I'll show you today or not, but it allows me, if I have the blue bar filled all the way, to essentially shoot out a bolt of lightning, doing 3 sets of 150 or so. And it's when the little bar is full, it gives me a temporary damage buff. Nothing major, just breaking apart. Occasionally you'll get like a little glowing marker on the creature, and that's I don't know what it is, honestly. I just know it can give you a extra part. If anyone knows exactly what that means, feel free to tell me. But I am not aware. If I figure it out, I shall tell y'all. Now, this set is definitely not built to be using weapons that I have other than the hammer and the axe. I believe you've already seen the chain blades. Yes, you should have in my last one, but that wasn't a very good video, so I'll show you in this one again. Sometimes they have this brief standstill period. Now, that's a bad example, but you saw how it was standing still right before it died. That is because there is an aspect of it getting tired, essentially, where it'll stand still for a brief period of time. Not a lot of monsters get that often, so. Alright. Move from the sword to the axe, because why not? This is the Charog X. Pursuit, neutral, lesser Nasher. Let's see. No. I mean, the problem with the Austin repeaters is their damage is very minimal. They have, like, if their range was a bit more effective, then I'd probably like to use them more. But you have to get so close for them to have actually any actual effect. Like, for more than, like, I think 3-ish meters away, it's not effective whatsoever. Oh, this is not a private. Oh well. Now, the axe, or they all have different modifiers essentially. I use the Flight of Ruin just because I don't like the you have to hit the behemoth with the Grim Onslaught with this, because I'm not very good at hitting it consistently with a throw. But the Volatile Axe Core is great because as you're charging, it actually does a little tiny tick, about 20, and it does it in two separate instances of 30-ish slash damage. Slashes your sword, axe, pike, kind of, and chain blade type damage. I'm not sure what type the Austean Repeater does, but I know the hammer does blunt. Same map, so it'll be easy to find this thing again. And I have more people with me, so it'll get done quicker. Yep, it's down here again.